What's up guys, it's Naf here. So today I wanted to make a quick guide on soloing Dagannoth Rex as an Iron Man at a low level. Now the main reason for wanting to do this will be to get a dragon hatchet. For many Iron Men who can use one, for many Iron Men including myself, it is a lot easier to go from an adamant hatchet straight to a dragon hatchet, as getting a rune one is a little bit trickier than you'd think. And realistically, the only requirement in my mind to solo Dagannoth Rex is 60 magic. Now if you want, you can try it at a lower level using a lower tier staff, but due to the low accuracy you will have, you'll really struggle to kill it efficiently, as it gives you access to use the God Staff and Cape, which you can see on my character now, which are required from the Mage Arena for 80k gold after you complete the mini quest there. So it is very cheap, and 60 magic is very easy, so keep in mind that's my only recommendation as to what you should have before attempting this. Now in terms of the armor and jewelry, it is just a case of bringing whatever best armor you have. So for this video I've kept it very minimal with Impide, which is gotten from killing imps and requires 14 crafting to craft the total set, so nothing very hard at all to get. And in the next slot I do have an Amulet of Magic, which takes 24 crafting to make and 7 magic to enchant. And lastly in the ring slot I have the Asylum Doctor's Ring, which is gotten from the Broken Home quest, which has no requirements to complete at all and provides decent bonus stats in all combat styles, so it is recommended along with the necklace, but it is just a case of it is providing magic bonus, therefore it provides more accuracy and will make things quicker for you. But if you don't have it, it isn't required, it's just recommended. Now in terms of my inventory, I do just have runes for Fire Blast, which is a level 59 spell. Now if you have a high level magic and you can use a high level fire spell, by all means I recommend it, such as Fire Wave, but again I'm keeping it simple for this video and I'll just be using the level 59 spell. But again, common sense, just use the best spell you can. Dagannoth Rex is weak to fire spells, so keep it on fire though. And in terms of the remainder of my inventory, I do just have lobsters, which takes level 40 cooking and fishing to acquire, which again, not too hard at all. Now lastly, I do have a basic shield bow in my inventory. Now this is to use the defensive ability Resonance. Essentially what happens is, or what it does, is when you take damage from a monster, it will then prevent that damage so you take no damage, and in turn it also heals you. I will further explain this when we are at the boss, but essentially what we are using it for is stopping Dagannoth Rex from hitting us when we are pulling him over, and in fact getting healed when he does. So if you don't have 48 defense, which is the requirement for this defensive ability, you don't have to bring the shield bow. Now again, this setup is just obviously to demonstrate that it can be done by very low levels with very minimalistic gear. If you have better in any of these slots, by all means bring that better gear. This isn't me suggesting this is an optimal setup, it's just demonstrating that it can be done at a very low level. So now I will be heading to the Dagannoth Kings area. So to get there, if you're a mainscape character, the easiest method is to buy a Dagannoth teleport tab, as it has no requirements to use and it teleports you right outside the instance. For ironmen who don't have that, teleport to the Relic Lodestone, run west into town and continue west to the furthest platform. And use the travel option with Javald. Once at Waterbirth Island, run into the cave and continue east. Now you can use either the north or south tunnel. Now just so there's no confusion, unlike back in the day, you do not need a partner to get through this door. Now I do apologise for speeding up this process, I'm just trying to keep the video as short as possible. Now if you need a more detailed map, I'll leave a link in the description. So just so there's no confusion, once you've gone down the ladder into the actual instance, run to the opposite wall to that ladder, and that's where you stay for the remainder of the kills. Okay, so in terms of the instance, I did set it to fast, although it doesn't actually matter. In terms of if it's your first time getting here, I would advise you actually put it on slow or slowest, just to make it a bit easier on yourself and you have a bit more time to get around, because it is a case of if you do get caught out, you will actually be really punished and you will have to leave. So you will notice that things have spawned. You can see them on the minimap all around. Essentially, they are little mobs which will attack you. Simply, you will kill them here. Mainly with AoE attacks, will actually kill them, and then they'll stop spawning. But early on, when you first get here, they are a nuisance. But anyway, when you can see the boss is close, he will aggro onto you. Let him come close to you. Deflect the hit. Now, I only deflected one. I probably could have been a bit quicker there, but regardless. And then you do kite him through to here. Now you can see he stopped. Now he stopped because if you look, it's really hard to tell in the detail I'm on, but essentially the game is designed in blocks, I guess is the easiest way to put it. And there is a block here and a block here, but there isn't one here. So he essentially gets stuck, and this is what you want to do. Now, if you are a higher level, you do have access to some other abilities which can heal you. Although, I'm going to assume you don't. They require, I believe, 91 hit points for, I don't remember their names, 91 hit points for Ice Asylum, and for the second butterfly ability, Guthic's Blessing, 85, and that also requires a quest. I'll have it come up on the screen, but I don't recall what it is. It's one of the god-related quests, but regardless, as you can see, that was very quick, very easy. Now what you want to do is put this on, Regenerate. So what this will do is actually heal you for whatever adrenaline you have. So this will be a lot of the healing you're getting back. And Dagannoth Rex does also drop food. So simply just wait for the respawn. So again, just elaborating on these guys, Dagannoth Prime uses magic attacks. He'll cause you the most issues. He hangs around this quarter, I suppose. It's, I guess to go into an explanation, they all sort of hang around a certain area of this island, or we'll call it an island. Dagannoth, and there's 3 of them. So if you want to think about it, you sort of can split it into thirds where they hang out. You've got Dagannoth Rex hanging in this quarter, Dagannoth Prime hangs in that quarter, and Dagannoth Supreme hangs in this quarter. Now, realistically, Dagannoth Prime, for whatever reason, is your main issue. I'm quite frankly not too sure why. Dagannoth Supreme I've never had problems with at all, and most people never do. So what you want to do is just wait for Prime to go away, simply. And then you go ahead and pull like that. And you are good to go. And there we go, 117. I've actually gotten 2 dragon hatchets already, so I've been lucky. So it's all about timing, really. As you can see, he does aggro onto you eventually when he's running around, but it can sometimes take a bit of time. Sometimes he walks around for quite a while before he will actually get close enough to you that he picks you up. Early days, I would honestly recommend that you maybe just let him aggro onto you. That you can stand in positions like where you see I am, where Prime will never aggro onto you, only Rex will. So it's pretty fail-safe, but it can be a little bit time-consuming just waiting. Whilst if you step out and tag him, if you don't do it at the right time, Prime can potentially get onto you. And once Prime or Supreme start attacking you, they won't get off you till you kill them or leave, so you will have to leave with this setup. Now, in terms of where I'm standing right now, Supreme and Prime cannot attack you whatsoever. It is 100% safe as long as you are against this line. If I'm 1 block out further, there is the potential for him to aggro onto me, but as long as I'm here, I'm fine. So just keep that in mind. Once you get a bit more confident, you can be a bit more risky about how you move around, but in terms of just playing it safe, just farming out your dragon hatchet, this is the way to go. Okay, so there you go, and it's that easy. Bring your Impied, bring your Zamorak staff, kill him 3 times, and you go home with a hatchet. So that's pretty funny. I'm sorry to those people that are struggling to get one. That is Dragon Hatchet number 3 rather, on 118 kill count. I apologise. But I'll be frank, I would much prefer the Dagannoth pet at this point. I don't have any use for 3 dragon hatchets. But I'm going to stay here for a full trip. What I'll do is I'll cut it here, unless I get another beam. But I'll cut to the end. I've got metrics tracking, so we can have a look at it after a full trip, which will be an hour. Otherwise, I'll come back sooner if it's worthwhile. Now, as you can see, because I didn't run 1 square lower, he didn't actually go lower with me, and therefore he didn't actually get safe spotted. So just to go through it again, I pulled him here. You have to step down here, then take a few steps across. Then once you're around near the end, you can step up. So again, what that effectively has done is drawn him down 1 square lower as well, and effectively lured him into the spot he needs to be in. So the tip I advised you if you're new to this, the hides you're not going to keep anyway. They're only used for summoning to make, I believe it's some sort of Dagannoth familiar. It's not too useful at all. So what you can do, because plenty of hides drop anyway, is drop a few. Okay, so you leave those there after you kill the boss, loot the hide, then come over here. So there we go, I've got aggression, just pocket my defense. So what you can do is simply click the hide. So as long as you're standing on the bottom row, you can do this. And there you go. So it just takes an element of thinking out of it, and it does alleviate the risk of accidentally clicking onto one of these outer rows, which could effectively pull Dagannoth Prime if you're not careful. And then you can simply drop the hide again. In case you are actually looking to keep the rest of the hides and you don't want to keep wasting them, you don't need to drop this many, you can just drop the one. And as long as the spawn speed is on fast or fastest, you should be able to get back to your hide and pick it up before it despawns. So that's just a little tip. Okay, so there we go. The instance is now expired. So to those who aren't too familiar with PVM or instancing, it is only for 1 hour. After that 1 hour, bosses stop spawning. So I killed Dagannoth Rex, he won't spawn again. So in terms of the kills, I was actually just having a look to see how many I got. So I believe I got about 23 kills, something along that. I'll probably have the confirmed number come up on screen just briefly. But regardless, there we go. So because I forgot to bring alch runes, here is what I actually got in terms of loot. I wasn't collecting the hide. I suppose I'll bring this one with me. But the hides aren't too useful, only used for summoning, and I don't see myself using it, so I was just leaving them, and the bones I was burying. Now in terms of the experience, it's actually rather good. If you were doing this at level 60, you could actually get around a level an hour, or something close to that. As you can see, I got 52k magic experience, which is pretty good. I did end up even getting 95 magic, and then as well as that I was burying the bones, so I did end up getting a little bit of prayer experience. Now what I thought would be interesting to do is I'm leaving anyway, so what we can do is sort of test out the aggro range of mainly Prime. Supreme's never really an issue for anyone, so I'm not going to be too concerned with him, but essentially I'm leaving anyway, so we can cover some of the what ifs by just pushing the boundaries and seeing what will aggro him. So this is our usual line where we always fight Rex, this one. What we're going to do is take one more step out. So this should pull him. Or I would expect it to at some point. So there we go. It looks like we're rather safe, but I'm going to let him walk around I'll probably speed it up for the sake of not wasting too much time and making this too long. But I'll give it 30 seconds or so. I'll see if this will actually pull him. There we go, look at that. So it wasn't an immediate pull, and I can't damage him, but we'll just attack him. Waste some runes, why not? So there you go with that one. And this is what it would be like if you decided to start tanking both of them, if everything went to hell and you started panicking. So it's nothing too bad. They've probably both got a max hit of around 1600, much like Rex. But there you go. So don't take 2 steps out, stick to the one. And leaving this place is actually one of the hardest things. If you are a very low level, you think you could run out of food, you might want to bring 1 lore rune just to leave, just because these out here are more of a nuisance than the actual boss. For future reference, it's easy just to run to the far east of the tunnel once you leave the instance, and there you can easily lodestone. So again, just looking at the loot, a lot of alchables. Most of these are worth, I believe, about 25. There you go, 39k. So all in all, roughly about 300 to 400k in alchables there, I'd say. Nothing too fantastic, but if you're there for the hatchet, it's definitely nice. You pay off your own instance cost as long as you can stay there for a full hour. And they also drop noted bones occasionally, so you can bank those for prayer a little bit later. But there we go, that's my third. I've got one in the tool belt. But that's it for this one. Again, bring the nature runes if you've got them. You can alch them, but you probably won't fill up your inventory unless you're very quick. I had the instance on fast, so once you get very comfortable with it, you can turn it up to fastest and probably get more kills an hour. Again, I got about 23, I think. You could probably get about 30 or so if you're a bit quicker with things, along with the gear as well. Could probably push more and more kills as everything goes up, but regardless. Okay, so just before ending the video, I did quickly want to mention that Ring of Wealth does increase the chance of getting a dragon hatchet, although it doesn't affect the chance of getting any of the rings. Now that is information I'm getting directly from RuneWiki, so based off of my own experience, all of my dragon hatchets were gotten without a Ring of Wealth, but that's just the information that I found. So if you have one, by all means take a Ring of Wealth. But regardless, that's it for this quick guide. Again, tailored to low level Ironmen, 60 magic is all you need. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.